Okay, so recording has started. So for question number 7, what did you answer? Question number 7, what did you answer? Okay, so which one of the following provide a spontaneous source of financing for a firm? So as I have told you, the most common example when it comes to spontaneous financing is accounts payable. So for number 7, the correct answer is indeed letter boy. Accounts payable or trade credit. When we say something is spontaneous, it happens automatically. Throughout the operations of the business, we purchase and chances are we do not pay immediately. Automatically, we have an accounts payable. Hindi kailangan sadyain, matik, nagkakaroon ng accounts payable. Hindi nyo kailangan mangutang ng diretsahan. Pagbigay sa inyo ng inventory, huwag nyo lang munang bayaran. At syempre, yun naman yung usapan, no? Kaya nga on account. Okay? So it automatically happens in the normal course of business. That's why it's called a spontaneous source. 7, the correct answer is boy. Okay, what about letter? Question number 8. Question number 8. So very good sa 7. All of those who participated got it correctly. The correct answer was boy. Now in question 8, if a retailer's terms of trade or 310, net 45 with a particular supplier, what is the cost on an annual basis of not taking the discount? Assume a 360-day year. Go. Enter your answers, everyone. Okay, so let's do it together. So this year is day 0, from day 0 to day 10. Okay, we are entitled a 3% discount. For the first 10 days, we are entitled a 3% discount. So rather than paying 100% of the amount, we only pay 97% of the cost stated. Okay? But if we pass day 10, sulitin na natin hanggang sa last day na natin aabutin, no? Para magamit pa natin yung pondo, wag natin bayaran agad. Okay. Bayaran lang natin hanggang sa last day. So the net amount is 45, meaning to say when you will not take the discount, you will have to pay by day 45. So what is the cost on an annual basis of not taking the discount? So if you do not take the discount, you will pay 100%. That's an additional 3% instead of only paying 97% of the stated price. How do we annualize this? Divide this by the number of days from this point to this point. So divide this by 35 days and multiply by the number of days in 1 year, 360 in this problem. So we are going to pay an additional 0.03, that's 3%. Instead of only paying 97% of the stated amount. So sinabi niya 100, magbabayad lang tayo ng 97. Bakit tayo magbabayad ng 97? Dahil pasok tayo sa discount. So kung hindi natin kukunin yan ng day 10, ano mangyayari? Madadagdagan ng 0.03. If we forgo the discount, magbabayad na lang tayo ng sagad, day 45. No? Sagarin na natin hanggang day 45. Additional 0.03 over 0.97 times 360 divided by 35 to annualize this rate going 1 year, no? Kasi naka 35 days lang yan, no? Divided by 35 days times 360, the annual rate is indeed 31.81%. Okay? Okay, thank you for notifying si Daniel. Okay. Meron daw internet issues. So very good. Many of you were able to answer it correctly. That's 31.81%. Okay, do you have any questions so far? Meron ba tayong mga tanong dyan? Okay, kung wala, let's go to question 9. Question 9. Dudley Products is given terms of 210 net 45 by its suppliers. If Dudley forgoes the cash discount and instead pays the suppliers 5 days after the net due date. So, hindi siya magbabayad on time. Magbabayad siya ng 5 days after the net due date. What is the annual interest rate cost using this time a 365-day year? A 365-day year. Okay, enter. Kung ano man mga sagot nyo, please enter. Okay, indeed. That's very good. That's very good. So what we will do here is a timeline. Here is day 0 to day 10. Discounted to by 2%. So we only have to pay 98% of the amount stated. Now, kung di niya babayaran niya ng day 50. That's 5 days after 45. Bina-violate niya yung policy ng ating lender, ng ating supplier. However, yun yung sinabi ng problem, no? Nagbabayad siya ng 5 days late. Kung saan magbabayad siya ng buo. So that's an additional 0.02 divided by 0.98. 2 over 98. That's the rate of interest in borrowing. Technically, nangihiram ka ng pera, no? Hindi ka nagbabayad agad. So 0.02 over 0.98. Annualize na lang natin. This is useful for 40 days. So divided by 40 days, multiply by 365 days per year. The annual interest rate is indeed 18.62%. Very good. The correct answer is indeed 18.62%. Okay na tayo sa second handout, no? We have already completed the second handout. Let us now proceed to the next handout. So the last handout, calculate both. Ignore the effective annual cost. Wag na natin munang pansinin yung effective. For the exam purposes, we will just use approximate. Okay. Calculate the approximate cost of forgoing the cash discount for each of the following suppliers of new corporation. Supplier Lion 210 and 40. Assuming new corp needs short-term financing, recommend whether it would be better to give up the cash discount or take the discount and borrow from a bank at 20% annual interest using a 365 days year. Okay, so what's your answer here? Ano may sagot niya dito? Okay, so if you answer A, give the appropriate rate. If you answer boy, also give the appropriate rate. Although tinatanong lang naman kung ano yung gagawin, no? So give up the discount or take the discount and borrow. So far boy ang mga sagot ninyo. But may I know what are those rates? The rate of giving up the discount, what's the financing cost or interest rate? Then taking the discount and borrowing, that's at 20%. If we give up the discount, foregoing the discount, this is what will happen. Rather than paying on day 10, we will pay on day 40. So, madadagdagan yung ating cost ng 0.02 over 0.98. Then, to annualize this times 365 divided by 30 days. That's day 10 to day 40. Times 365 over 30. Foregoing the discount is like incurring an interest of 24.83% annually. It is like incurring an annual interest rate of 24.83%. That's if we give up, we forego the discount. If we take the discount, we will have to pay on day 10. Okay? If we take the discount, kailangan natin bayaran ng day 10. If we pay on day 10, mauubusan tayo ng pondo, no? We will need additional funding kasi babayaran na natin ng day 10. So where will we go? We go to the bank and borrow at 20%. Doing so would mean that we will incur an interest of 20%. If we forgo the discount, ito yung interest rate natin. If we take the discount, ito yung interest natin. It would be better to take the discount. The interest rate is only at 20%. If we take the discount and then borrow from the bank, we will just incur 20%. Pero kung i-give up natin yan, para tayong nag-i-incur ng 24.83%. Okay? I hope that's clear. I really hope that's clear. If you have any questions, please raise them anytime. Okay? Please raise them anytime. Question number 2. BRN Company plans to borrow 10,000 from MLP Bank. Stated rate of 10% per annum. Each item is independent with one another. Question 1. What is the effective rate if it is a discounted note? Outstanding only for a year. Okay, anyone? For number 1, what's the answer? Anyone? What is the effective rate if it is a discounted note? Outstanding for a year. So, same people, no? Sina Basti, Tracy. Okay. Now, if it is discounted, what it means is that interest is deductible in advance. Ang mangyayari pag discounted, kukunin na ng bangko yung interest agad. Hindi mo pa nahiram. So, hindi mo mahihiram yan ng buo. Okay? You will pay how much? Interest of 10% times 10K. So, the effective annual rate is 10% of 10K. 10% of 10K. 1,000. Now, yung principal mo, 10,000. Ang problema, hindi mo na mahawakan yung interest dahil ikakaltas na agad yung interest. The interest is deductible already at the beginning. So, hindi mo natanggap yung buong 10K, kinaltasan na agad ng 1K. So, that's 1,000 divided by 9,000. Very good. Indeed, it's 11.11%. Okay? It's 11.11%. So, instead of paying 1,000 for the amount borrowed 10K, that 1,000 will be deducted in advance. Para bang sinasabi sa inyo, okay, kakaltasan ko na yung interest agad, ito na lang matatanggap mo. So, yung matatanggap niya na lang talaga ay yung 9,000. Hindi niya na matatanggap yung buong 10K. So, kung natanggap niya 9K, tapos ibabalik naman niya at 10K, so parang dagdag 1K, no? 1/9, that's 11.11% equivalent. Okay? The effective annual rate. Number 2, what's the answer? What is the effective rate if it is a discounted note? Assuming it will be outstanding only for 6 months. Go. Assuming it will be outstanding only for 6 months. Okay. Effective annual rate, that would be 10% of 10,000. But it's only for 6 months, so i-adjust natin. Times 6 over 12. 500 lang yung babayarang interest. Dahil 6 months lang to, 10% per annum. So parang 5% lang to, no? Dahil pang 6 months lang, parang 5% lang yung 10%. So that would be 10% of 10K is 1K. 6/12, that's 500 pesos. So sa baba, 10,000 minus 500, 9,500 pa yan, no? Pero hinanad natin effective annual rate, no? pinapahanap sa atin effective annual rate, EAR. So what we will do is we're going to multiply this by 12 over 6 to make this one year equivalent again. So that would be 500 over 95. Tama? 500 to. Ito 10K minus 500. 500 over 95, multiply that by 12 over 6, that's 2. You will have 10.53%. Very good. Okay, mas marami yung sumagot ngayon, no? Sina Tracy, Basti, Hannah, Juliana, Louis, Eshil. Okay. Number 3. What is the effective rate if it has a compensating balance of 2,000 outstanding for a year? So for number 3, anong sagot nyo? Effective rate if it has a compensating balance of 2,000 outstanding for 1 year. Go! Okay, pag sinabing compensating balance, yan yung amount na hindi nyo pwedeng i-withdraw sa bank account nyo. So, if forward ng banko yung 10,000 sa banko mo, ang sabi niya, yung 2,000 doon, hindi nyo pwedeng galawin. No? As a safety precaution for the bank. No? The portion that can't be withdrawn. No? So, there should be 2,000 pesos always in the bank, at least. So in essence, you didn't borrow the entire 10K. Although you borrowed 10K, you're only allowed to withdraw 8,000. So in arriving at number 3, the effective annual rate, that's 10% of 10K, divide it by 10K minus 2K. 10 minus 2. No? So 10% of 10K divided by 8K. So that would give you 1,000 over 8K. That's 12.5%. Very good. Okay, maraming sumagot. Same people. Hailey, dagdag na Hailey. Sina Hannah. Okay. So, everyone, please answer in the next question. What is the effective rate if it has a compensating balance of 2,000? The cash trap in the compensating balance earns 2% a year. Brian maintains a minimum transaction balance of 500 in its account. Again, Brian maintains a minimum transaction balance of 500 in its account. What's your answer? Okay, same people. Glenn, Eshiel, Joseph. Of course, Basti. Okay. So, the effective annual rate, ganito. For your numerator, this is the same, no? 10% of 10K. Offset the amount of interest earned from the amount that's forced away from you. Pinilit sa inyo, kaltasan, hindi nyo pwedeng withdraw yung 2K. Ang balak nyo lang talaga nung una, 500 iwan sa bangko. So, yung 2,000 na yan, 500 dyan is your own will. Yung 1,500, napilitan lang kayo. So, 2,000 minus 500 is 1,500. The interest earned from the amount withheld from you forcefully, no? Napilitan lang kayo. 2% of 1,500. Okay? I think that's 150 kung tama ako. No? 150 to. So, 1,000 minus, ano lang to? 15 pesos lang to. This is only 15 pesos. 1,000 minus 15, that's 985. Divide this by 10K minus 1,500. Dahil yung 500, talaga namang balak nyo yun, iwan. No? Yung 2,000 na sinabing iwan nyo lang sa bank, 1,500 lang doon yung napilitan kayo. Yung 500, hindi naman talaga. Okay? It's really your plan. So that would give you 970 over 85, 11.41%. Okay? 970 over 85, that's 11.41%. I discussed a similar thing, similar to this in the video, kung napanood nyo. I think it's in the 6th video. In the last video, I discussed this. kung di ako nagkakamali. Doon ko mismo diniscuss, ha? Sa last video. Yung pang-anim. Anyway, let's continue. Number 3, this is about a commercial paper. JFR issues a 5,000 peso of commercial paper. The 5 million. 5 million pesos of commercial paper. This 5 million is obviously the face value of the commercial paper. 5 million is the face value of the commercial paper, with a maturity of 3 months at an effective annual interest rate of 8%. What's the amount of proceeds or amount borrowed in this issue? What's the proceeds or the amount borrowed in this issue? Okay, for question 3, anyone? Hindi hinahanap ang interest, ha. Ang hinahanap ko dito, magkano niya natanggap nung nanghiram siya. Magkano niya natanggap nung nanghiram siya. Okay. Kapag commercial paper, yung face value niya, yun yung amount na isa sa oli niya. So after 3 months, ibabalik niya sa lender 5 million. Let me repeat. For commercial papers, the amount that is stated there, the face value, in this case, it's 5 million. That's the amount to be returned to the lender. Kung anong nasa face value, yun yung amount na ibabalik sa lender. Now, ang mangyayari, dapat may effective annual interest rate siya na 8%. Okay? So 8% divided by 12 times 3 months, that would be 2%. No? I-work back natin 3 months before paying 5 million. 5 million divided by 1 plus 8% times 3 over 12. Okay? Ulitin ko, pag commercial paper, yung nakita nyong amount sa commercial paper, yun yung ibabalik at the time of returning. After 3 months of borrowing, ibabalik yung 5 million. Kailangan daw niyang kumita ng 8%. No? The lender would like to earn 8%. For 3 months, that's 8% times 3 over 12. That's only 2%. 5 million divided by 1.02, that's 4,901,961. That's the correct answer. Okay, ha? Ganon tayo kapag commercial paper. Yung commercial paper na yan, hindi yan utang sa bangko. Utang yan sa ibang tao. Hindi kailangan sa bangko. Commercial papers are owed to investing companies, no? Investors or other companies. Commercial papers are not owed to banks. They are owed to the general public. In practice, commercial papers are cheaper than bank loans, and they are far cheaper than accounts payable. In practice, accounts payable are very expensive. Okay? In practice, accounts payable, they are very expensive. Okay tayo, ha? So, ganun kapag commercial paper. No? Itong amount na to, yun yung isosoli niya at the end. Number 4. Which of the following is not an advantage to a corporation that uses the commercial paper market for short-term financing? Is it A, B, C, or D? What's your answer? Okay, so kung nakikinig kayo sa lecture, those who can issue commercial paper are you can only issue a commercial paper if you are a large and stable company. So the correct answer is C. This is not true. C is a false statement, not an advantage to a corporation. C is not true. There are no restrictions to the type of corporation that can enter into this market. For you to enter into this market, the corporation who is borrowing, it should be a large and stable company. Hindi pwede mga baguhan o mga maliliit na kumpanya. It should be a large and stable company. Letter C is a false statement. A is correct. Mababa yung interest rate dito. Okay. Boy is correct. No compensating balance. Walang compensating balance kapag commercial paper. And dog is correct. Pwede kayong manghiram kahit kanino. Hindi kailangan sa bangko. There's a broad distribution for borrowing. There is a broad distribution for borrowing. Okay? So A, boy, and dog are correct. C is the false statement. Okay, next question. Can Corporation? Isabay niyo na mga sagot niyo for 1, 2, and 3. Go. Okay, enter. What's your answer? Okay, no answer, Lisa. Okay, ito may mga answer yung iba. Okay, very good, no? Very good. Can Corporation arrange a revolving credit agreement? This is a formal version of a line of credit amounting to 10 million pesos. So CanCorp can borrow from the bank, from a group of small banks, a total of 10 million pesos. So kung hindi niya hihiramin, manghihinayang yung mga bangko. Ay, hindi siya nang hiram, hindi tayo kumita ng interest. So kailangan silang bigyan ng pakonsuelo, no? Kailangan silang bigyan ng pakonsuelo kung hindi manghihiram si CanCorp. So the firm paid an annual commitment fee of 0.5% of the unused balance of the loan commitment. So kung yung 10 million hindi niya hihiramin, magbabayad ng 0.5%. On the used portion of the loan, yung hihiramin niya, Can paid 1.5% above prime for the funds actually borrowed on an annual simple interest basis. The prime rate was at 9% for the year. 1. If CanCorp borrowed 10 million pesos immediately after the agreement was signed and repaid the loan at the end of 1 year, what was the total peso cost of the loan agreement for 1 year? Okay? What was the total peso cost? So for number 1, kung hiniram niya yung buong 10 million, edi bayaran niya yung interest. 1.5% plus 9%. So 9 plus 1.5 is 10.5%. 10 million times 10.5% is 1,050,000. 2. If CanCorp does not borrow at all, what was the total peso cost of the loan agreement for 1 year? So kung hindi niya talaga hihiramin, so pakonsuelo sa bangko, bigyan na lang ng 0.5% yung amount na hindi hiniram. The entire 10 million, hindi niya hiniram. 0.5% or 0.5%, that's 50,000 pesos. Okay? Ganun lang tayo pagdating sa revolving credit agreement. Number 3, hati. If CanCorp borrowed 6 million pesos immediately after the agreement was signed, repaid the loan at the end of 1 year, what was the total peso cost of the loan agreement for 1 year? So this would be 6 million times 10.5%. Hindi niya hiniram yung 4 million. Yung 4 million na yon will be subject to a commitment fee of 0.5%. So 6 million times 10.5% is 630,000. 4 million times 0.5% is 20,000. Total is 650,000 pesos. Number 3, the correct answer is 650,000 pesos. Okay, Tracy and Glenn, very good. Nakuha niyo yan. Okay, and Eshil pala. And Eshil. Okay lang tayo dito, ha? Okay, 10.5%, 1,050,000, 50,000 and 650,000 respectively. Number 6. Anong sagot niyo sa number 6? What's your answer for number 6? Okay, tatlo lang yung may sagot. Where's the answer of the rest? Okay, so meron tayong tatlo dito na may sagot, no? Meron tayong tatlo na may sagot. Megatech Incorporated is a large publicly held firm. The treasurer is making an analysis of the short-term financing options available for the third quarter, as the company will need an average of $8 million for the month of July, $12 million for August, and $10 million for September. The following options are available. Option 1. Issue commercial paper on July 1 in an amount sufficient to net Megatech $12 million at an effective rate of 7% per year. So pag sinabing ito yung rate, ito na yung rate, no? Sa commercial paper. So, yung matatanggap daw niya ay 12 million na. Kasi sa August, kailangan niya ng 12 million, no? As early as July, 12 million na yung matatanggap niya. Any temporarily excess funds will be deposited in Megatech's investment account at First City Bank and earn interest at an annual rate of 4%. 2. Utilize a line of credit from First City Bank with interest accruing monthly on the amount utilized the prime rate. So kapag line of credit, similar to revolving credit agreement, you can only borrow the portion that you would need. So sa July, 8 million lang. Sa August, yung buong 12 million. Tapos 10 million sa September. Okay? So the prime rate is estimated to be 8% in July and August, 8.5% in September. Based on this information, which one of the following actions should the treasurer take? Okay? Which one of the following actions should the treasurer take? July, August, September. So, kapag commercial paper yung gagamitin, kukunin na natin yung buong 12 million at mag-i-incur siya ng 7% per year. So, sa month of July, 7% over 12, 12 million times 7% over 12, 70,000 pesos. August, the same. September, the same. Okay? Yung buong amount talaga ang hihiramin. No? Yung buong amount talaga yung hihiramin for July, August, and September. Kung meron mang hindi pa gagamitin na pondo, ang mangyayari ay ilalagay muna sa savings bank sa First City Bank, no? Doon yung account niya. So 8 million lang kailangan sa July, yung 4 million ilagay muna sa bangko, umita ng 4%. Over 12 lagi kasi 1 month lang yung July. Sa August walang sobra, no? Sa August wala tayong sobra, yung buong 12 million gagamitin. So September 10 million, so yung 2 million pwede natin ilagay sa savings, no? So 2 million times 4% over 12, that's 6,667. Okay? So the net financing cost for July is 56,667. August, wala namang inanet dahil wala lalagay sa savings, 70K. September, 63,333. Now, when it comes to the line of credit, Kung ano lang yung kailangan, yun lang yung hihiramin. Unlike sa revolving credit na magbabayad ng commitment fee, sa line of credit, walang commitment fee. Okay? Walang commitment fee. So, 8 million lang hihiramin sa July. 8% daw yung prime rate over 12. August, 12 million. 8% over 12. September, 10 million. Tapos, it is projected that the prime rate will rise to 8.5% over 12. Okay? So, 53,333, 80K, and 70,833. Okay. If we will take the total of the financing cost for the commercial paper, it's 190,000 pesos combined. $190,000 rather combined. Sa line of credit, when we combine this, that would be $204,167. Mas mura kapag gumamit tayo ng commercial paper. Tama? Mas mura kapag gumamit ng commercial paper. Okay? Magkano? Yung difference niya ay 14,167. 14,167. So the best answer, based on this info, which one of the following actions should the treasurer take? Issue the commercial paper. It's cheaper by 14,167 or approximately 14,200. Ito yung pinakamalapit na answer. Okay? It is approximately 14,200 less expensive than the line of credit. Letter A. Question 7. All of the following statements in regard to working capital are correct. Except, alam naman natin na dapat meron tayong maturity matching approach. If we need the asset for the short term, we use short-term financing. If we need it for the long term, we use long-term financing. When I say assets are needed in the long term, kasama doon yung fixed assets, tsaka yung permanent current assets. Yung gagamitan lang ng short term, yung yung seasonal or temporary current assets. So for number 7, what's your answer? For number 7, what's your answer? Okay, very good. Mali yung C, no? This is the exception, letter C. If we finance permanent inventory build-up with long-term debt, maturity matching yun, di ba? Inventory build-up, which is permanent current assets, long-term debt. That's an example of maturity matching approach or moderate, no? Another word for moderate. Ang sabi niya, this is an example of an aggressive working capital policy. No, this is not. No, this is not. 7, answer is letter C. Okay? 7, the answer is letter C. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions before we proceed? Formula sa 2D. Ano yung 2D? What is 2D? Yung pang-apat. Question 2, yung pang-apat. 2D. Okay. Okay. Ito, nandun to sa video ha. Nandun to sa video. Okay. Yung interest rate, i-multiply sa principal minus the interest income of the amount that you are forced to live in the bank. Compensating balance minus your planned minimum transaction balance times the interest rate for the savings. Tapos i-divide nyo sa principal less compensating balance minus the minimum transaction balance. Okay na daw. Okay? So, Yun lang naman, no? We shall now proceed to the 5 C's of credit. Okay, the 5 C's of credit. There are 5 C's that the lender would look at before giving you the loan. No? Kung pupunta kayo ng bangko o kung saan man pautangan, titingnan yung 5 C ninyo. No? So what are these 5 C's of credit? The 5 C's of credit is a system used by lenders to assess the credit worthiness of prospective borrowers. So, bago pautangin yung isang customer ng bangko, titingnan niya muna itong 5 C's. The system weighs 5 characteristics of the borrower. These characteristics is a combination of quantitative, numerical, tsaka qualitative, no? Quantitative and qualitative characteristics. No? The system weighs 5 characteristics of the borrower and conditions of the loan, attempting to estimate the chance of default and consequently the risk of financial loss for the borrower. Siyempre, yung bangko, kung magpautang sila, gusto nila na mababalik yung pera sa kanila. Okay? They're going to grant loan to someone who is willing and able to return the money at the right time. Okay? So, kung titingnan man yung 5 C's, yun ay para protektahan yung kanilang interest, no? To protect its interest. The lender will look at the borrower's 5 C's. So, ano itong 5 C's ng credit? Okay? So, the lender will be looking at your character, capacity, capital, collateral, and conditions. So, let me repeat. In the 5 C's framework, the lender will assess the borrower using the following criteria. Okay? Before giving credit. Bago pa utangin, titingnan muna ang 5 kriteryang ito. Character, capacity, capital, collateral, and conditions. These are the 5 C's of credit. So when you go to the bank and you would like to take a loan, you would like to take a loan because you might open a business, buy a home, buy a car, buy an appliance, or what have you. They're going to look at your 5 C's. Character is your credit history. May history ka ba na tumatakbo sa utang? Okay? Tinatakbuhan mo ba yung yung mga inutangan mo? Your character is going to be looked at. Capacity, on the other hand, pertains to your ability to pay. Kaya mo bang bayaran? No? Kaya mo bang bayaran? Yun yung ibig sabihin ng capacity. Do you have sufficient income? Do you have sufficient income? Capital, okay, kung namuhunan ka ng malaki sa negosyo, okay, mas malaki yung chance na maniwala sa inyo yung bangko. Kasi kung maliit lang yung binigay niya, tapos mangungutang ka pa sa kanila, baliwala yun. Collateral, okay, sakaling hindi mo mabayaran yung utang mo, ano yung habol nila sa'yo? Yung bahay mo, pwede ba nila kunin? Yung kotse mo? That's collateral, no? You may have something pledge, sanla, or mortgage, sanla rin. Yung kinaibahan ng pledge tsaka ng mortgage, yung pledge, ibibigay nyo physically sa lender. Yun yung pledge. Yung mortgage, nasa borrower pa rin, no? Nasa borrower pa rin yung item. Okay? So, kunyari, pupunta kayo ng pawn shop, ibibigay nyo muna yung relo nyo, no? Tapos, kung hindi mo mabayaran yung utang mo, ibebenta nila yung relo mo, no? Okay punta kayo sa bangko, bibili kayo ng bahay, tapos i-collateral nyo yung bahay, mortgage yung tawag doon. So kung hindi mo mabayaran, kukunin nila yung bahay at ibenta. That's collateral. Conditions, is the economy good? If it is bad, the chances are hindi kayang magbayad. Huwag mo na pautangin. Okay? Conditions. Aside from the conditions of the economy, conditions of the person, no? Conditions of the person. Conditions of the loan itself. Okay? Anyway, let's go to the 5 C's one by one. Okay? Character. Character pertains to your credit history. In the United States and a lot of Western countries, there is a credit score for an individual. Okay? So, yung mga bank, titingnan nila yung credit score nyo. Okay? Ano ba yung history mo? Nung nangutang ka ba dati, nagbabayad ka? Kung oo, edi maganda. Kung hindi, edi syempre hindi maganda. Okay? Credit history is the borrower pertains to the borrower's reputation or track record for repaying the debts. Okay? The borrower's reputation or track record for repaying the debts. So there is a high chance that you will be given a loan when in your history, you are always paying the correct amount on time. Now, if your history is not good, there's a less likely chance that the loan will be approved for you. This information appears on the borrower's credit reports. Ang sabi ko nga, sa ibang bansa, meron tayong tinatawag na credit score para makita ng mga bangko kung karapat-dapat ka bang bigyan ng utang. Ngayon, paano naman kapag sa Pilipinas? Sa Pilipinas, kanya-kanya yung mga bangko. No? Kanya-kanya yung mga bangko. Walang centralized na database. Okay? So, for your character here in the Philippines, kapag meron ka ng loan doon sa bangko na kung saan ka manghihiram ulit, make sure malinis yung record mo. Okay? Although, meron tayong database ng mga taong tinakbuhan yung credit card. Yun, walang takas yun. Kapag nag-credit card kayo, tapos tinakbuhan nyo, hindi talaga kayo nagbabayad ng credit card, okay, you're in danger. No? Lahat ng bangko nakakaalam na nun. So be very careful. So guard your reputation at all costs when it comes to borrowing because wala nang next time kapag nagloko kayo ngayon. That's the first C, character. Second is capacity. Capacity pertains to your income, the borrower's ability to repay a loan by comparing income against recurring debts. Okay? The borrower's ability to repay a loan by comparing income against the recurring debts. They calculate a ratio called debt to income, DTI ratio. Okay? Assessing the borrower's debt to income ratio. Yung utang mo ba, divide nyo sa income nyo. Is it too high or too low? If it is lower, the better. Kung yung debt nyo ay konti lang tapos mataas yung income, edi papautangin pa kayo ng bangko. Pero kung yung debt to income ratio nyo ay sobrang taas na, sobrang laki na ng debt nyo, tapos maliit lang yung income nyo, okay, less likely mag-a-approve yung bangko sa inyo ng loan. Okay? Assessing the borrower's debt to income or DTI ratio. Lenders calculate the DTI by adding together a borrower's total monthly debt payments. So magkano ba yung pinapambayad nyo sa utang nyo? Divide that by the borrower's gross monthly income divided by yung monthly income nyo. Kunin nila yung debt repayments mo for 1 month, total ha, divided by your total income, your gross monthly income. There you go. That's your DTI. The lower the DTI, the better. Okay? Generally, less than or equal to 35% is good. Example, ang income mo 10,000. Let's say ang income mo 10,000. Yung bangko, mag-a-approve yan ng loan kung yung monthly repayment mo less than 3,500. So kung mangungutang ka ng 10K, they are going to see it, kung income mo pala 10K, kapag every month kumikita ka ng 10,000, they will see to it that when you are going to borrow, it will be in such a way that when you repay the loan, you're going to repay only 3.5 per month. Kasi kung sobra ng laki yung utang nyo, edi, ang question doon, saan kayo kukuha ng pambayad? Okay? Saan kayo kukuha ng pambayad? Yun yung capacity. Okay? Your ability to repay a loan. Okay? Looking at income against recurring debts. Capital. Lenders also consider any capital the borrower puts forward a potential investment. A large contribution by the borrower decreases the chance of default. And therefore, kung marami kayong nilagay na capital, mas malaki yung chance na maniniwala sa inyo yung bangko. Okay? So, kung malaki ang contribution nyo, yung sarili nyong pera, namuhunan kayo ng 1 million, yung bangko, willing magpautang sa inyo ng 500,000. No? Kasi ang laki ng pera ng nilagay mo. So, kung kaya mo maglagay ng 1 million sa business mo, yung bank maniniwala din na magbibigay, na hindi mo sila tatakbuhan. No? So, ganun din kapag sa bahay, no? Kapag sa bahay. Kunyari, bumili ka ng bahay, nag-down payment ka ng out of 1 million. 1 million lang tayo para mas madali yung analysis. Nagbayad ka ng 200,000. So, ibig sabihin nun, seryoso ka. Okay? Example in a home loan, generally banks require at least 20% of the property's value should already be paid before giving the loan to finance the remaining 80%. Okay? The borrower's down payments, it indicates their level of seriousness, which can make lenders more comfortable in extending credit. Ngayon, kung magtatayo kayo ng negosyo, tapos hindi kayo naglalagay ng sarili nyong pera, edi paano maniniwala yung bangko sa inyo kung kayo mismo takot maglagay ng sarili nyong pera? Okay? Bibili kayo ng bahay, tapos hindi kayo nagbigay ng down payment sa bahay. Paano maniniwala yung bangko sa inyo? No? So the amount of capital that you provide indicates how serious you are to the business, to owning your house, to owning your car. No? Mas marami kang kinontribute, mas maniniwala sa iyo yung bangko. That's capital. The third C. So, recap tayo ha. The first C is character. It pertains to your credit history, your reputation. Second is capacity. Do you have enough income to repay back the loan? And third is your capital. If you put a lot of capital in the project, the business, or the house, whatever that is you're borrowing for, the more serious it seems you are in what you are doing. The fourth C is collateral. The fourth C, it's collateral. It gives the lender the assurance that if the borrower defaults on the loan, the lender can get something back by repossessing the collateral. Okay? Often the collateral is the object one is borrowing the money for. Kunyari sa auto loan. Sa auto loan, kapag hindi mo sila babayaran, kukunin nila yung kotse mo. Sa house loan, kapag hindi mo sila babayaran, kukunin nila yung bahay mo. Anong gagawin nila sa mga yon? Ibenta nila para meron kang pambayad ng utang mo sa kanila. Okay tayo doon? That's collateral. It gives the lender the assurance that if the borrower defaults on the loan, hindi siya magbabayad, the lender can get something back by repossessing the collateral. Often, the collateral is the object one is borrowing the money for. So kapag may collateral, tinatawag natin yan secured loans. No? When there is a collateral, we call it a secured loan. Okay, the fifth C is conditions. Conditions of the loan. Ano yung interest rate, amount of principal, how the borrower intends to use the money. Kung sinabi mo yung purpose mo, mas maniniwala sila sa iyo magpautang. Kung hindi, hindi sila maniniwala sa iyo at baka hindi ka nila pautangin. State of the economy. Recession tayo ngayon, so hindi masyadong eager yung banks magpahiram dahil doon. Industry trends or pending legislative changes. Okay? Sa interest rates, amount of principal, kung masyadong malaki, alanganin sila. How the borrower intends to use, state of the economy, all of these are called conditions of the loan. Okay? So, yun naman, those are the 5 C's. No? The 5 C's of credit. Waiting ko ha? The 5 C's of credit are character, Your reputation, ano ibig sabihin nun? Pag sinabing character, yung credit history mo. Nagbabayad ka ba ng utang dati? Capacity, do you have enough income to pay back the loan? Capital, how serious are you? Mas marami kang capital ilalagay kapag seryoso ka. So, mas maraming capital, mas maniniwala sa iyo ang bangko. Collateral, okay? So, hihingin nila yung mga bagay-bagay na pagmamayari mo. Pwede nila kunin kapag ginawa niyong collateral, tapos hindi kayo nagbayad. Tapos conditions, like interest rate, principals, and state of the economy. Okay? So, those are the 5 C's of credit. Those are the 5 C's of credit. Okay, so ano yung expect nyo kapag manghihiram kayo? Okay, part yun ng ating discussion dapat, no? So, expect that you would need an ITR, no? Income tax return, to prove your income, your capacity. 3 months payslip, standard yan, yung 3 months payslip. Now, to establish your income, those are the things that you need to do. Character pala muna. Pag sa character, dapat wala kayo sa database, no? Isa-isahin ko ha. First is character. Wala kayo dapat sa database ng mga tinakbuhan yung credit card. Second is capacity. Yung income nyo, yung income tax return, yung 3 months payslip. Hihingin yan sa inyo. Employment contract, o minsan hinihingi rin yung employment contract. Tapos, ano yung pangatlo? Yung pangatlo, yung pangatlo, yun yung capital, no? So, you should show proof, usually the balance sheet of your business. O kaya, sa case ng bahay, pakita nyo na may resibo kayo na nagbayad kayo ng 20% ng bahay. Tapos hihiramin mo para doon lang sa 80%. Collateral, hinihingi yung titulo ng bahay nyo, ng condo. Okay. The title. Okay. Nakapangalan ba sa inyo yung title ng bahay? Yung pag sa collateral. Sa conditions, depending on what conditions we are looking at. There are many things to look at. Anyway, do you have any questions when it comes to borrowing from a bank? Do you have any questions when it comes to borrowing from a bank? Capital? Yeah. Capital yung pangatlo. Yeah. Thank you for that, Basti. Okay, so the question is, possible pa rin ba, sir, yung mga tinakbuhan yung utang, manghihiram pa rin? Kung hindi recorded, no? Kung hindi recorded, makakatakas pa. Maximum amount lang na pwede silang hiramin. Kung nahuli, kunyari, may track record ka na hindi nagbabayad, hindi ka nagbayad ng, sabihin natin, 5 million pesos. Pwedeng pautangin ka pa ng 100K, 200K. Tapos posibleng hihingan kayo ng guarantor, no? Sinong tatakbuhan nila kapag tumakas ka? Kunyari, hindi ka makapagbayad tapos tinakbuhan mo sila. So, kung uulitin mo yon, baka hihingi na sila ng guarantor. Sabi, sinong pupuntahan nila, no? Mag-guarantee na mababalik yung pera. Yun yung pwede nilang pang-counter, no? Kapag tinakbuhan mo yung income. So, syempre, maghanap ka ng kamag-anak na pwede kang saluin. Okay? Sige. Kung wala na, one more topic. So, i-announce ko lang ha. For Unit 2 and Unit 3, dalawang units na, no? Hindi, Unit 3 and Unit 4 na pala. quiz natin will be on Monday next week. Okay? Monday next week yung magiging quiz natin. Okay, last topic. So, magsasample tayo ng kayo naman yung manghihiram. Magsasample tayo ng kayo manghihiram. At gagamit ako ng Excel. Okay ba? Okay. Now, I'm going to give a simple illustration of what we call an add-on interest rate. Okay? So, itong gawin natin ha. The loan term will always be 1 year. Payable in monthly installments. Okay? Now, when the bank told you that the add-on rate is 18%, ang ibig niyang sabihin, every month, magdadagdag ka ng equivalent na 18% ng principal. Okay? Every month, so for 1 year, 18% of the principal divided by 12. Okay? Divided by 12. Sige. So, paano gumagana yung isang add-on interest? Okay? Ulitin ko ha, i-assume natin 1 year, tapos payable in monthly installments. Kaya 12 months a year. So what you will do is, your principal repayment is literally the principal divided by the number of installments per year. Pag monthly, 12 months. Okay? FNF4, para hindi tumakas, FNF4. Lagyan ng dollar sign, no? Para lagyan ng dollar sign bago yung mga characters, no? So, E5 divided by E3. That would be 1,000 per month. Iso-scroll ko pababa, no? Iso-scroll ko pababa. If it is an add-on interest, principal repayment, this is equal to principal repayment, multiplied by your add-on rate, which is in this example, 18%, divided by 12 months per year. Okay? Yun yung add-on. Hindi na natin i-divide pala. Bakit hindi na kailangan i-divide? Kasi naka-divided by 12 na to, no? So, times 18% na lang. No need to divide by 12 because the 1,000 here is 12K over 12 already. So, kapag add-on rate, ganun tayo mag-calculate ng interest. Okay? Para hindi tumakbo, ang gagawin nyo, EF4 nyo, no? FNF4. Ayan. Lagyan nyo ng dollar sign before and after E, no? Before E and before 4. Tapos yung D8 para tumakbo, no? Okay. Hanggang dito. So, we call that an add-on interest rate. Okay? So, kung pupunta kayo ng bangko at nagbigay sila ng monthly rate na 1.5%, 1.5% times 12, 18% yun, no? 1.5% binigay. I-multiply nyo lang by 12, no? 18% yung annual na add-on rate. Ang ibig sabihin nun, ibalik nyo yung pera a total of 14,160. Nangyari dyan. May tumatakot. 14,160. That's the total amount that you are going to pay. 14,160 throughout the year. Okay na? Sorry, nakikita niyo yung Excel ko? Nakikita niyo ba yung Excel ko? Kanina, nakikita niyo ba? Hindi. Nagsasalita ako, akala ko kita niyo. Kanina kita. Habang Nawawala-wala. Okay. Nakita nyo naman. Wait lang ha. Ano nangyari dito? Wait lang ha. Okay. Ito yung pinakita ko kanina. Okay. So, tuloy ka na ha. Tuloy ka na. Now, unfortunately, itong nakikita nyong 18%, hindi yan accurate na interest rate. Gusto nila ipakita na mababa yung interest rate. Tinatawag nila yan add-on rate. Mag-add-on ka ng 18% ng principal repayment every month. But the true rate is actually greater than that. Okay? Now, what we can do here is to go to the next table. Yung total amortization mo is 1,180, no? Every month, 1,180. Overall, magbabayad ka ng 14,160. Now, actually, when you are going to look at it this way, here in the next table, yung principal repayment mo, nag-i-incur siya ng yung 1,180 mo, it's actually, this amount amortization per month, it will actually give you an equivalent rate that is higher than 18%. So, ang gagawin nyo dito, tingnan nyo yung amortization amount. 1,180. Okay? So, para matapos yung loan nyo after 12 months, itong 1,180, okay, itong 1,180, dapat dagdagan nyo pa ng interest. No? Dagdagan nyo pa ng interest. Okay? Dapat dagdagan nyo yan ng interest. So, I'm going to do this first. Para pagdating ng month 12, zero na lang, no? This becomes zero. Wala na kayong utang. Pero sobra na to, no? So this is what we're going to do, ha? I'm going to multiply the principal in the beginning by the effective interest rate. Itong effective rate, ito na yung totoong rate divided by 12 para gawing monthly. Okay? Times this divided by 12, yun yung interest portion. Okay? So, zero yung nilagay ko dito kasi hindi ko alam kung ano yan. Pwede nyo puntahan yung data. Dito. Pwede nyo puntahan yung data. Okay? So, pwede nyo puntahan yung data dito. Gumawa kayo ng what if analysis goal 6. Set cell, itong dulo na to, gawin natin siyang 0. Okay? To value 0. Itong dulo. By changing the value here, anong interest rate ang magbibigay ng 0? Press enter. Okay. Press enter. Then, okay. So, based on the Excel formula, using goal 6, the effective rate is 31.72%. Yun yung effective interest rate, 31.72%. Okay, sorry for that. So, what we're going to do here, nakikita pa yung Excel, no? Check ko lang ha. Nakikita pa yung Excel. Ayan, okay na. What we're going to do here is we're going to look at what amount of interest, no? What is the amount of interest? The amount of interest here is 317, no? 317 sa first month, calculated as this divided by 12. Tapos, kung 1,180 yung binabayad every month, okay, yung principal repayments dyan, 863. Yung principal repayment dyan, yung 1,180 minus 317, 863. So, yun yung tatanggalin natin sa principal. No? So, yung next dito, 12,000 minus 863, 11,137. Okay? So, this is what we're going to do for the remainder of the day. Try nyo gawin in another example. So, here, you have an add-on rate of 12%. The principal is 12,000. Okay? Try natin kung kaya nyo gawin on your own. Okay, ito yung itatry natin, ha? So, add-on rate is 12%. 12,000 pa rin yung principal. Go. Okay. So, titingnan ko ha kung tama yung gawa natin. Okay? So, what we did a while ago in the first sample, the loan term will always be 1 year and 12 months for purposes of the exam. A while ago, it was 18%. No? It was 18%. This time, it's 12%. The principal is still 12,000. Anong gagawin nyo? For each month in that 1 year loan equals 12,000. This is divided by 12 months per year. So FNF4, kung laptop kayo FNF4, kung PC F4 lang para magkaroon ng dollar signs. Hindi sila tatakbo, no? Yung 12,000 over 12, it will remain the same. Scroll nyo hanggang month na 12. The add-on interest is the principal repayment multiplied by the add-on rate. So usually, banks will give you an add-on rate. Banks will give you an add-on rate. So ang mangyayari, magbabayad tayo ng 1,000 plus 120, 1,120. Okay? Ang mangyayari, magbabayad tayo ng 1,120 every month. A total of 13,440 in the span of 12 months. Now, if you would like to know the effective rate, it should be in a way that when you pay 1,120, okay, nababawasan yung principal mo, tapos yung interest rate nyo, yung interest nyo, nababayaran nyo rin. Okay? So, ano kaya yung totoong interest rate? So, it should be calculated this way. Interest divided by 12 multiplied by the principal. No? So, principal times interest divided by 12. Yan. Okay? Tapos, yung principal repayment nyo, 1,120 minus the interest portion, yun yung mapupunta sa principal repayment. 12,000 minus yung 1,120 sa second month, yung outstanding balance nyo is lower. Tapos 1,120, tanggalin nyo yung portion para sa interest, yung sa principal may iwan dito, 9,760. Then 880 minus 1,120, that's 9,760. Ganun, no? Okay. Sa ngayon, wala pang interest, no? So, ina-assume natin lahat. So, dapat mag-zero to. So, what you would do is you're going to use goal-seek. Data, what-if analysis. Goal-seek. Set this to value 0 by changing the effective interest rate. Okay. So, tingnan natin yung buo. 2 decimal places. 21.46% para mag-zero ito. So, interpretation of this is that principal of 12,000, yung minus 1,120 mo, 215 dyan mapupunta sa pagbayad ng interest. Yung principal repayment mo, 905. 12,000 minus 905 is 11,095. Yung amortization mo, ito, 1,120 ulit. Yan. So, sinasabi ng bangko, ito daw yung interest mo. Pero yung totoong interest mo talaga, ito, 21.46%. Okay? So, to simplify, we will just use to simplify, we will just use 1 year tapos monthly yung payment. Okay? So, yun lang naman. That would be the coverage for our quiz 2. So, ano yung hindi natin na-cover sa quiz 1 until today, we are going to put it as part of your quiz 2. Do you have any questions so far? Wala na? Sige. So, 2 more YouTube videos. 2 more recorded videos. Okay, asynchronous na lang. Yeah, the recording will be uploaded, Hailey. Yeah, it will be recorded. Okay? Sige. pati yung mga Excel. Yung Excel isasama ko na rin. Okay. Yeah, kasama pa rin yung YouTube, no? So, dalawang YouTube video na lang, tapos quiz na tayo, no? Dalawang YouTube video, tapos quiz na tayo. Okay? So, that would be all for our session this afternoon, and see you next meeting.